Hey there and welcome back. We're going to talk about transplanting our winter sown seedlings out today. So when you're transplanting seedlings, you just basically need to do it just like you would any other seedling that you got, like at a greenhouse, or if you grew your seedlings in the house. You want to watch the weather for that particular type of plant. There's some plants that you can do earlier than others. You know, tomatoes and peppers, they like warm air and they also like warm soil, so you're going to kind of watch the temperatures there, but for the most part you treat it the same. Now there is a nice thing: the winter sown plants are a little bit hardier than what you might get from a greenhouse, or what you might get if you're planting them indoors, but you do still need to kind of harden them off. Now, if you don't know what hardening off means, what that usually is you're gradually getting that plant used to being out in the weather, in the sun, whatever climate you're in. It's in this little protection, right? It's super warm, it's moist, there's no wind, right? Because it's all covered. So you want to kind of gradually expose it to the air and to the real world. That way it doesn't shock the plant and then you end up killing it after all those months of really not work, because winter sowing is so easy. But if it was seedlings you did indoors, then it is a lot of work. So there are two ways to harden off your plants. I'll tell you the first way, and that what you want to do is you want to, as soon as you know it's warm enough and you know that your plant is getting kind of big in here and you need to get it opened up, just take the tape off and you're going to open up the jug and you're going to leave that plant out for maybe an hour the first day. Cover it back up and then leave it covered until the next day. And then the next day you're going to do it again. You're going to open it up maybe for 2 hours that day. And you're just kind of gradually going to open it up more and more each day. You want to take maybe 6 days to do that until it's just open all day long. I recommend when you do this, don't put it out, don't do this at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when the sun is just really beating down and you just leave it out in the hot sun. It's going to wither that plant. You'll be surprised how quickly it'll go down. You might want to do it in the morning when the sun is less harsh. Make sure that it's in the shade so that the sun is a little bit less harsh. So just watch your plant. If you see that it's wilting, then know, okay, get the lid back on and do it differently. Do it a little bit more gradually next time. That's the way that I've usually done it, and that works pretty well. When you open it up and then when you shut it up, you don't need to tape it all up again. Just make sure that it's going to stay shut though. Have something over it. You might put one little piece of tape on here if it just keeps flopping open, but it can just be closed over the top like that. It's fine. But it's just that gradual opening up that is the key. And then again, that takes like maybe 6 days, about a week is about what I usually take to do that. And then at that point, you can go ahead and transplant your plant into the ground. Now the other option is a longer gradual exposing of your plants. And the benefit of this is it does make for a hardier plant when the transplanting does happen, because it's been exposed for longer, and so it's just got a more sturdy system, I guess. And what you could do with that is you can leave it taped up, but open up holes in the top of your jug. Open up, maybe you want to cut down into this, into the top of your jug, and open up that jug. And so gradually you're just opening it up like that. You're going to pull out the flaps to where it's just all open for the most part for, all the time. And so that's kind of a longer process. You might take, several weeks to do that and get it all opened up. The benefit is it's probably makes for a sturdier plant, but keep in mind that you're opening it up a little bit faster at first. You can't close it all back up again very easily, so it's going to lose moisture faster. And so make sure that you watch the moisture level of the soil. Make sure you keep those plants moist. So the whole premise basically is gradually get that baby used to being out in the real world, and then you can go ahead and plant. When you put your plants into the garden, this is another step that I usually do. I will go ahead and I'll cut the bottom off of this completely, and I'll take this top and I'll just put it over the top of the plant on the dirt. You plant your seedling, put this over the top of it, and then just maybe put it on there just for a day or two till those roots get used to being in that new spot, and it just adjusts to any shock from pulling the roots apart or anything like that. So That's how you harden things off and get it ready to get planted out into the garden. So after that gradual opening and getting that plant ready to go, it's ready to go in the ground, and then you can give it that little extra protection with that jug on the top of it. If you're not sure, if you think, you're not sure if the plant is going to handle it well or not, always err on the side of caution. Those are little plants and they're not used to the weather, so just take a little bit longer. It's not going to hurt anything, and so you'll have a good transplant and you'll have a good strong plant in your garden. So after that gradual getting used to being out in the garden, your plants will be ready to go out in the garden. You're going to plant them just like you would the seedlings for that type of plant. Give them a little extra protection with the lid for a day or two, and then you're ready to go. And at that point, you just take care of your garden just like you would do anything else. It's just, winter sowing is really something I highly recommend, and I hope you'll give it a try. You might be surprised. It might work really well for you. With winter sowing, I have one really good tip that I want to share with you regarding saving the milk jugs. So when it's getting to be spring, we're like really early, I should say late winter, I'll tell my family, okay, I want to start saving some jugs for my garden this spring. And they know that when they empty a jug, they're not supposed to throw it away. They're supposed to just rinse it and put it in the dish drain. And then when it's drained, I will take it and I will store it away. And we just kind of start gathering them, because I'm going to need, quite a few for all the different things that I want to plant. And it can kind of get overwhelming if you don't have a really good place to keep it. So if you have a big box or, somewhere that you want to keep it, that works. But let me show you what I do. It's really nice. I hang them up. This is my string of jugs. All I do is I use baling twine, but you could use whatever kind of string you have. I tie it to the handle of a jug, and then I just start feeding that string through all of the handles of all these jugs. It's only tied to one jug, the one at the very bottom, and everything else is just strung on the string. Then I have a spot out in my carport. You might have, I don't know where you want to keep it, but it's really nice because all you need is a nail or something, and you can just hang that up, come out and throw a couple more jugs on there. When your string is full, you just get another string. So that's a way to keep everything together and consolidated. Another tip is, go ahead and cut your jugs as you're putting them out there. If you have time, just go ahead and cut them. That way, when it's time to plant, everything is already all cut and you don't have so much cutting to do at once. I forget all the time, but you can see this one here. It's already cut, and all I have to do right now is just put dirt in it and get my seeds and get it going. Controlling the chaos of the jugs. Hope that was helpful. We'll talk to you later.